What up, man? What up? What up? What up? Good to see you. Happy New Year. I haven't talked to you since last year.
Happy New Year's to you as well,
Yeah,
my brother.
yeah. Salute everybody. This is episode 17. Talking crazy. So a monthly show with a man A plus hieroglyphic souls of mischief, myself Tamal, and this is our monthly show. On mental health, just two friends chopping it up, talking mental health topics. I see you editing the sheet. And just we're excited to use this our platforms for this show. It's one of my favorite. It is my favorite show, most important show, if you will, that we do. And we're pumped to be here. Why don't you tell us, tell everybody what this show ain't?
This show is not a couple of people that think we're experts or doctors. We're not trying to tell people what to do. We're not trying to claim that we know everything. We're works in progress ourselves. This is just a build where we share our ideas based off of our experiences. We try to share whatever we may have come across as knowledge throughout the journey of life, and we also are here to learn as well. We're not going to be diagnosing anyone or being like telling any of you what you should be doing. We're just building some brothers trying to share some knowledge on a topic that has been largely overlooked in our community over for our entire lives. And yeah, trying to hopefully anything we say could be helpful to someone. I know I learned a lot from this show, just from people's comments and just from sharing from hearing what Tamal has shared, and just trying to build, man, and bring awareness to the topic. Is something that's really crucial to not just our community, but anybody in general. It's not something that is spoken about enough. And in recent times and recent years, it's become more of a thing that people can talk about. And we come from a culture where people are like, hush it up, don't talk about that, be a man, just deal with your stuff. And we're here to just go against the stigmas that have built up over time, and hopefully shed a little light and learn something as well.
Right, absolutely. As we always say, take what you want, leave the rest, man. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you get something out of our successes, our failures, fuck ups, and everything, and just and we always try, if we are sharing something from a particular source or whatever, we try to share what that source is, but yeah, we're just chopping it up, and these topics come up, like this one. We're doing gratitude tonight. That's the topic, and this was an important one. It came up in the last show. We're like, oh, let's do gratitude. Like something popped, something triggered it. But it's an important one. And before we get into it, and real quick, also, this show is 99.9% about mental health topics and quote unquote self-help. So, the music, this show isn't that, so if we won't really be dealing with questions related to the music or the comments like that. So try to stay focused on what the particular topic at hand. It's pinned below and it's up top, so we can all get the most out of this conversation. So, but I was gonna say, why is gratitude important to you? Like I know it kind of just morphed. We picked the topic and then like boom, like why is this important to you?
Well, gratitude is important to me because, I mean, well, that's deep. It's I don't want to take it too much into like an area where I was raised by Jamaicans, man, and gratitude is something that I learned was important in life at a very early age, and it's a foundation. It's a foundational thing. Um, One, because it helps you appreciate what you have and understand that other people may not have certain things, and it lets you be thankful for what you have, and it shows that things could always be worse. When you look at other people's circumstances, whatever they may be, if they're less than yours, and instead of just being like, forget them, they whatever, they should need to do whatever. It it's linked to empathy. It's like when you appreciate what you have, you can see what other people don't have, and feel for their situation. And it doesn't make you feel better than someone else um, when you look at what you have and what you're fortunate to have. It makes you be thankful for it. And this is just a really short, off the hip way of saying it. There's so much more to it. Y'all gotta pardon me. I took a nap and I just hopped up to do this, so I got to get my brain clicking. But I was I was raised to be grateful. My parents are immigrants. My whole family is from another place, and they came here with absolutely nothing. So my whole entire life, I was raised on gratitude being key in my being, in my position in life. It again, like I said, it allowed me to, at a very young age, understand empathy for other people's situations. And I'm not saying that and this is from coming from a place that I grew up not having much myself. So it's not about I had all of this abundance and it made me feel a way about it looking at other people's situations. It's just a way to objectively understand other people's situations and I mean there's a lot more to it. I'm trying not to get too religious or spiritual, but I mean it's hard for me to not be spiritual, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna cut you off, man. You're the
go
A
go
plus,
ahead.
the nicest guys I ever met in my entire life, and I say that lovingly because he goes the extra mile to make sure that you go the extra mile to make sure that your words aren't taken the wrong way and stuff like that, and I appreciate that. However, this 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 platform, this forum is for us, to be as real as we're comfortable being, right? So like go the spirit. Like if you don't go the spiritual road, I'm gonna go the spiritual road at some point because that's who we are. And so, if again, this is what we say: take what you want and leave the rest. People may be like, spiritual, fuck that. Okay, fuck that, or stick around. You know what I'm saying? But this is who we are. This is who you are. So I'm just saying, I invite you to like keep it a being, man, because this is our show, and your voice shouldn't be stifled on your own shit.
Yeah.
So you can say, I know you're gonna find a very nice, polite way to say whatever you need to say without like ruffling feathers. So I just say, it's up to you, but I'm just saying in general, like
Of course.
keep
I
it
mean,
because mental health and spiritual shit that's connected. B, it ain't no sorry, it is.
facts. I mean, gratitude is kind of the it's like the cornerstone of my being. I'm grateful beyond measure for every moment, every second, every every second that passes by that I'm alive. I'm grateful for. I was raised this way. I feel like I'm naturally like that way in my heart. I don't like to see people suffering, and when I see people suffering in a way that I'm not suffering, my gratitude helps me understand to be thankful for what I have and also to have empathy for whatever they're going through. And this has, I believe, raised me to be into being a better human being. Um, and it allows me to be more objective, less judgmental. Um, yeah, I feel like the world will be a better place uh, if everybody exercised more gratitude. Um, all religions and spiritual groups have this as a cornerstone of their teachings to some degree or another. I personally believe by experience it makes you a better person. And I personally believe by experience people who don't have gratitude are often not such good people to me. They usually don't care about what other people are going. People who don't exercise gratitude, they usually are douchey to me. In my opinion, like most of the people that I think are assholes and people that I see causing people harm in the world are people who don't have gratitude and don't understand it, don't practice it, and I feel like the world would be a better place and everybody would be a better individual if it was a regular part of their life. Um, Also, people who are religious and are always thumping their religion but don't show or exercise gratitude, I think they make the world worse. and I don't like people like that in particular. I try to stay away from them. And outside of gratitude, I see people like that often are toxic in situations. They're often the person in the situation that's fucking it up for everybody. They're often the person that's also shitting on somebody else out of their own insecurities. And I feel like gratitude makes you better. Lack of gratitude makes you worse in my
Yeah.
experience. And I'm the type of person where I'm gonna do what works. I'm not gonna take anybody's advice if it's not working for them, and I won't give any advice if it's not working for me. I believe gratitude is the single most one of the single most important things in a person's life to exercise in their lifetime and their during their lifetime. I believe it's like right under the umbrella of love and caring and empathy. I believe those without gratitude are largely the problem. This is just my opinion.
No, I feel you. I mean,
Thank you for the thank you for the, like, hey, bro, keep it on track, man. You know what we do here.
of
Me and
course, you know what it is, man. It is what it is, and
my brother.
for me, it's and I try to exercise it all the time, but it's really helped me get through some hard times, because like there's times where I'm like, damn, like so we all I try to stay from like the why did this happen to me shit, because a lot of times I know why it happened to me because I did some fuck shit. So so but it's helped me be like, man, this situation could be so much worse. You know what I mean? I learned that me looking at it in this way could have been a different way. It could have been way more negative for me or something like that. And I look at what could have been, or I'll say, or sometimes I'm like, man, I only gotta, like my spiritual teacher used to say, like, you only got a slap on the wrist, be a lot of times, like in terms of looking at, and this is a whole nother level we can, but in terms of looking at karma, and it's a different thing, but you just got a slap on the wrist. Like it could be basically, again, it could, my father says this, he's not religious at all. He says, it could always be worse. He says it almost every day. It could always be worse. It could always be worse. And so, um, that, that thing has been really, but it's really gotten me through some tough times. As far as just when I'm in a situation, I'm like, damn, this could be way worse. And it really could. It's not far fetched either. Like it really could be. So um, that's been a huge thing for me, and it was important for me this topic when we picked it, just because all I, that's all I'm trying to. I try to think about that all the time. I try to be grateful all the time, and just
Every moment.
every moment. And my teacher used to say, he goes, "You can be grateful or be a great fool," and he's like, "It's your choice."
I
And
like that. That boy
yeah,
good.
be grateful or be a great fool. It's out, so that, and if you just look around, like you said, you made a good point, fam, like about how like it helps you look at others suffering, right? So by saying that, okay, it could always be worse. We think about all these situations, and people are affected, like by like so much stuff, and I look around, I'm like, man, like there's civil wars going on right now where people are being raped and killed and like taken as sex slaves and shit. Like there's fucked up shit happening right now as we speak, and like it's like roof over my head. Like I can, every sometimes I just look at my phone, right, and I'm like, I'm on my phone looking at my bank account, like thinking about what bills I need to, or where I want to spend my money, or when this motherfuckers are sleeping outside right now, fam. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
so that just I just add on to your point about like just helping develop sympathy, empathy towards others, like just seeing like, yo, it's because it's fucking real out here. Like,
Just it's so powerful. Just having gratitude. I mean, everything you just said. It will. It's hard to be all of the negative things that people can be when you have gratitude. You can't be an entitled asshole if you're exercising gratitude, because you don't expect things. You're thankful for what you have, and you care about what other people are going through. It just works. It actively works at 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 helping one be a more morally conscious being. It's magical. I mean, I'm not into magic, but I'm saying it works as if it was. It works just like that. You don't even have to try to care. If you're thankful for what you have, you will care. You know, it's the easiest thing. And I mean, it really depends on what you believe, but I mean, you touched on it earlier. I I'm grateful by the moment. I'm grateful for by the moment. Like every moment I look around, there's somebody else doing, mad people doing way worse. No matter at what time of day, no matter what the topic may be, no matter what it is, gratitude will make me be thankful for what I have, just by trying to be gracious and thankful. Um, and that will in turn make, just makes me a better person. You know, again, I can't stress this enough. All the people I know, or all the people I've ever met, or all the people I see that are straight dicks and assholes and horrible people, all don't actively aren't actively grateful for what they have. They're always, think about it. Anybody that's ever on some negative stuff, or just are doing unsavory things, or just are an unsavory person, those are people that don't exercise gratitude. Anybody who's like, I deserve this, I that's a person that doesn't have gratitude in their life. Anybody who's like, oh, they need to just pick themselves up out the off their bootstraps, like, you can tell they don't have gratitude. I mean, it's, man, it's just the most powerful thing in my life.
Yo,
Love and gratitude. Love and gratitude.
so you already went there. So I mean, well, I was definitely going to take it here as far as like, kind of that, because I like when we have our conversations. I like looking at the opposite of what we're discussing because it helps me focus on what we're discussing, right? So like I was looking at some like the antonyms to gratitude, and it was like thanklessness and stuff. But what comes from that, like you brought it up once, and I was thinking of it, entitlement. Like it's the craziest thing, right? Have you ever heard like when somebody says like, even on like a smaller, I'm happy for him, he deserved this, and I'm like, my brain doesn't work. I'm like, I don't deserve shit. Like I don't. There's nothing that I'm entitled to. Like even legally, somebody can come and take that shit from me. Like I don't deserve anything. And so therefore I'm not disappointed. But like I looked at this, entitlement is crazy. There's people out there like, I deserve to get this, or I'm like, word, like who says like this shit ain't supposed to be fair? Like anybody that told you life was fair and equal was lying through their fucking teeth, because it's not. It's
And to
yeah,
themselves as well.
yeah. So I was just looking at this thing you said a couple times, man. Like he deserved, or entitled to get something, or entitled to have like some type of financial situation, whatever it is. And people also look. I've seen this a lot, man. And I try not to do this, like where, because we all go through it, right? It's life, so we're all going through shit. A lot of people look at, because they've went through a certain amount of shit, that they're now due. You're not due shit. We're not. I'm sorry. It's none of us are. I'm not saying none of us are. Yo, you're not. We're not owed anything, and I just think that that's important, and so therefore being grateful. What little I do have, I'm fucking hyped, son. Like, word, like, got a little whip. I can get around. I see people standing in the fucking cold, getting snow slushed on their fucking new kicks. Yo, I'm good. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
and it's on that note, it's motivational, because when you're grateful about what you have, you see what someone else doesn't have, and you feel bad about it, something, or your situation, whatever, and then you see what somebody else doesn't have. You're like, oh man, I'm so grateful to have that. It's actually energizing. It's like, well, damn, if they're moving and not laying down from where they're at, and what the hell am I doing, man? No matter how I feel, I could give more, and it could instantly turn feeling down about your present situation into moving forward and upward from that same situation. It's a motivator. It's that simple. Just a little bit of gratitude, just a little bit of thankfulness will just, no matter what situation you're in, like, you can look around and see somebody else not doing as well, and it'll make you get up off your ass and be like, well, damn, it ain't that bad, let's go. What can I do from here? And that's an instant motivator. You could feel like down in the dumps and be in the shits, and a little bit of gratitude will instantly pick you up from that same situation. Nothing's changed, and instead of having the attitude of, oh man, what am I going to do, you instantly like, man, what we about to do, what we doing, just like that.
It's crazy.
Just like that.
Crazy.
Just like that. Instantly.
Instant switch.
Yeah.
Instant switch. I wanted to try to cover. There's a couple points I wanted to try to cover before we got into your notes here. And one minute, quick, like some of the negative things that come out of not having gratitude. Like we've talked about entitlement, but then I was thinking like anger and resentment. Right? I should have jealousy. You know what I'm saying? Like what I should have what they have. Like there's a lot, and I see it a lot. I mean, we're not don't talk hip hop like that on this show, but like I see it a lot in hip hop, where a lot of MCs, a lot of cats have been around for a while, and things didn't break the way they wanted them to break, and they're bitter as fuck because somebody with lesser talent or whatever. But a lot of this shit's luck too. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's interesting. I've resentment, anger, jealousy, envy. Those are all corollaries to components of
Not being grateful.
not being grateful, because it's like, because then you're pocket watching.
I was just gonna say that pocket watching, which is rampant in our community, is like, that's the lamest shit ever, right? That is literally like, bruh, that's a sign of, that's loser shit, bro. Pocket watching is why it's so regular for people to do it in our culture is horrible to me. But pocket watching is the lamest shit in the world, and it stems directly from a lack of personal gratitude. Like, why you were looking at somebody else's pockets and talking about how they got that, I don't got it, man. I swear, man, like things like that, you could already tell, like, oh, that person ain't got no gratitude, man. They're red flags. I will either not rock with somebody like that, or if I have to in some degree, kind of know who I'm dealing with and how to deal with them. Just because of that, oh, this person doesn't have any gratitude, they're entitled, and they tripping off what somebody else has, right, instead of trying to see what they can do for themselves. I mean, there's so much, like, I swear the world on a whole would be a better place if every individual just had a little bit of gratitude.
Of course.
Like, you would see, if there would be a drastic change in the topography of the human society.
The other thing makes sense. The other thing that comes out of that, what you were just sharing, is gossiping. You know what I'm saying? Just gossiping about people and talking shit. I mean, just another thing. I mean, so you're jealous, so then you oh, look what they got. Like, I mean, I heard the story was like, how was this? Quick story. There was a guy in the village, and everybody thought he was like ignorant or whatever, but he actually was really smart. He became a judge or something like that. And someone was like, "Oh, did you hear so and so became a high magistrate or something?" And he was like, "Oh, really? Oh, he must have like paid somebody." And I was like, "No, he got the job or something. He really got the job." And he was like, "Oh," he's like, "He really got it." He's like, "He was qualified and everything." And they were like, "Oh, we must not be getting a salary." Like, it didn't matter what this person did. You know what I'm saying? They still gonna talk shit. They're still gonna be hungry. Because they're lacking with people with no gratitude. You said they're fuck people, and they're lacking within themselves, right? Like,
yeah. I mean,
what's wrong with you, or what's wrong with me, rather, where I gotta be all up in somebody else's shit and worried about my own shit.
Man, people, we have to stop the pocket watching. It's just the fact that it's been normalized as something that you could just say and you could be that kind of person, and no one will immediately check you for being the lamest motherfucker speaking. I don't know, man. I don't understand how people could even feel like a stand, like a have personal integrity when they pocket watching somebody else. Like it's just lame, bro. And it's loser mentality, it's poor mentality. Ungrateful people who be pocket watching and hella jealous. You can kind of tell their ceiling. You know, you're not really not going to get too far with that. I mean, there's also the entitled people with no gratitude, but I'm talking more about our community. You know, where people are trying to get more in a place to where you kind of held back from the same opportunities. That's the worst thing you could do for yourself is to be a pocket watching non-grateful motherfucker when you're trying to excel. I mean, it's loser shit.
You're really
Like
trying to excel
it's
if you're doing that.
it really is loser shit.
Yeah.
Like, and not even in just in my opinion, you won't win doing that in your life. You know, you won't get further if you don't like where you're at and you're trying to get further. Being like that is not gonna do it. That ain't it. You know.
No, no. One other thing before we get into some of the points you put down here, I just want to look at this other area of gratitude. Is that particularly living in the West, and I've visited India before and some other countries, being grateful for the conveniences that in the first world problems that are there. There was a forgot the comedian. He got fucked up for something, but he was talking. His bit was like people who were like pissed at airports. He was like, "Hello, you're sitting in a chair 30,000 feet above the ground, flying somewhere, like across the fucking country, and you're pissed that you're like 20 minutes late or something like that, or that, like, you know what I'm saying? And when you put in perspective of like some of the conveniences and things that, like, it's like, yo, again, I'm on my phone, so how dare Instagram go down, or how dare like a website go down, right? And that's why I always say, like, with apps and shit and convenience, I'm like, yo, especially with the free shit, I'm like, yo, you getting free shit to do it, like, you're gonna deal with some fucking ads. So I was just thinking, like, along the lines of just being grateful. Well, most of us, you know, get up and you see a message on your phone, like, be grateful for this, again, for this, the little shit that we have, because again, you know, people are like hiking through the fucking jungle for water, like,
Yeah.
literally, for fucking water. Like, people are fighting over water.
People bathing in shit streams. You know what I mean? For real. Like, bruh, like, I mean, when I go back to Jamaica, man, I have relatives that like don't have hot water in their home. You're taking a cold shower and it's nothing. You know, it's not a big deal because they're taking a shower. And this, I'm not talking about poverty or nothing. I'm saying it just ain't like that. It just it's running hot water in the shower. It's not a thing, you know. And if you want a warm bath, you go boil some. And then there's, you know, it's just so much to be grateful for, man. I don't know where I would be or what kind of person I would be without it. I don't. I believe it's a cornerstone in my integrity and my spirituality. Every I'll say this again. I know I brought this up a few times, man. Like being in a car accident, like the car accident I was in, where my like when you look at the car, you like, bruh, nothing happened to you. You're cool. It's like after something like that, I was already a person that had gratitude already. But after that, literally, I look at everything. Like I'm walking down the street. Oh man, I got on some shoes. I woke up this morning. Oh, I didn't. I'm alive. Like I get to brush my teeth. I get to have some food. I mean, like literally everything I'm grateful for. And I don't, not like I felt like I was a bad person at all, but because I don't, but I feel like I'm exponentially growing exponentially more as a person, as a good person, because of that. Like because of my heightened level of gratitude. Because like I was in general just gracious for things in general. But after that accident, like every little thing that I had. And this is when you think like when like you're like, oh, I could be dead, right? After that, every little thing I'm grateful for. I express gratitude for. And my point is, the act of being showing that much gratitude since that incident has made me a better person to me. And I wasn't doing it to try to be a better person. I was literally grateful. And what I've noticed in my own life in those years since then is like I feel like a better person, and I feel like I'm just gonna be better all for like every moment that every little thing I'm grateful for, it pushes me up in how I feel about myself and what I can do in the world for others. You know, like in any moment, in any situation, I'm always take the high road because gratitude is like anti-gravity. Like it pushes me up, and in any situation, I'm seeing from a more holistic point of view. Everything, every little thing, you know, like and it makes me care, man. It makes me like, you know, people care, right? There's a lot of people who just care in general, and I'm not a bad person, but I literally like, man, I care about that. I care about you. I'm thankful for this. I just feel better, and a byproduct of that is it cuts a lot of bullshit out of your life. I saw somebody say something about prioritizing. Gratitude will help you with that. You know, if you have gratitude all the time, it instantly like scales bullshit out your life and brings more goodness into it. It's just like it's instant, like for lack of a better word. Again, it's like it's magical. And I feel better as a person, regardless of what situation or tribulation I may be going through. It's just so helpful. It just breathes life into my being, man. Uh, I don't know where I would be without it. It's and to what you said earlier, how it even came up, how gratitude even came up to be one of our topics. Is it came up so many times in other episodes where gratitude. I mean, it's like it's like it's a magical thing, and it's anti-ego too. And ego is uncontrolled ego. And let's face it, most of us can't control our egos. Nothing in this world teaches us how. Maybe some people gain some control over time throughout their own experiences. But gratitude, man, it I don't know where I'd be without it. And I instantly, it's like a radar, man. Like if I see people that ain't like that, I can tell, and I'm like, cool. Whereas when I was younger, I take people for at wherever they were and allow them into my situation because, oh, you know, that's just them or whatever. But if I see somebody that's like that, not exercising gratitude, I instantly know that that's toxicity incoming. And I've avoided countless bullshit because it's by simply just being grateful. It's not like I learned how to target people better and see where the bullshit is at. My own gratitude that I have points it out, you know, and it becomes clear. And I've been able to avoid many negative, toxic people and situations just from being thankful, not by doing anything difficult. Just, I mean, you know, people who aren't grateful are dangerous. You know, they're dangerous to your well being.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, but yeah.
Absolutely. There's a question, a good question. Did y'all always carry this type of mindset regarding gratitude? If not, what was the turning point? You probably joined a little bit late. A plus was sharing um, kind of just background wise that you know how you can share, you know, how it impacted you. Um, so
Yeah,
you both answer that question. Did you always carry this type of mindset regarding gratitude? If not, what was the turning point?
well, I was again. I leave that. I give all the credit there to my family, um, and my family are immigrants. Like my sister and I, my little brother, we're all first generation in in America, mainland, a foreign, and my parents were always are always grateful people. Um, and I was just raised around that, and I was dumped right into Oakland at a certain age, and I was like, this is wild, man. And but the foundation of my gratitude came from my parents living in the horrible situations, coming to America with nothing. Um, like, you know, the first place they landed was Flatbush in the project in the hood, you know, like with literally nothing. And their gratitude, I was raised, they imparted that upon me.
And
And that was that was how I got it. Now, to my own personal gratitude as a grown man, the foundation of it came from my parents, but it did get heightened by
Right.
experiences of my own as an adult and even as a child. But to answer his question, I've always had some level of gratitude, but I got that. I was raised with that.
Yeah. For me, I've always had some level as well. It was more so from experience, though, like seeing that my mom and I didn't have money. She was a single mom for a minute, and we didn't have loot. But I always had shit, and I was always straight. And I didn't know that like she was like sewing her work pantyhose and like and stockings and shit for sewing so she could get more use out of them and shit. And like I always had a phone in the room, like TV in the room, like I had shit even though like so I for me it was and she told me and my mom told me like be grateful. I'm busting my ass for you. Like so like it was like you know what I'm saying? Like you got what you got because I'm busting my ass. And I respect that. So I respected that. And so and also just observing around me like people who weren't as fortunate as I was or whatever and had, you know, this love or some of this parental shit, like was like, my mom loves me, you know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, experiences as well growing up. I mean, there was just I've had some near death experiences. I've had some like shit where I'm like, I shouldn't be here. Like, or I've had some shit like literally son, like it was like a 4 or 5 year period in my life where I was like getting going to court a lot. And like I like I was always getting like, and I didn't have no money for a lawyer, nothing like that. So I always had like either a public defender or I was dolo. And like I'd be in court and like I'd always get out of some crazy charge or something with like it'd be like creating a public disturbance, but it was like a drug charge, and then it goes all the way down to like creating a public disturbance or something or trespassing or some shit. It was like a one time it was like a pretty bad charge that got reduced to trespassing. I'd be like, damn. So there were situations, and then so I tried to straighten. There was some times I was trying to straighten out after that. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like
Yeah,
times that because if you get to me, if you have these experiences and you don't become more grateful, because you may not be taught great, gratitude. Okay, cool. Parents it may not be a thing, especially if you're privileged or something, whatever. Like, but if you have these experiences after and you don't develop any type of gratitude and then I don't know what to say.
yeah. That's those are the douchey people, man. Like for lack of a better term, when I see people like that get out of stuff or have things and they still are assholes and douchebags, I'm like, oh, bro, okay,
Yo, it's like
all right,
it's it's
okay.
like OJ getting off for murder and then going to rob motherfuckers after and going to jail. Like I mean, if whatever you was, it's like, damn, you got off, B. Like, whether you did it or not, and then you out robbing motherfuckers after. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
This is the same guy who was like, man, I was trying not to be black. I'm just a person. Like, bro, you don't get it. Like that's a perfect. I mean, that's a very well known example of somebody who just didn't get it. Like,
hello.
and he came from the hood too, which is crazy. Which shows that like you can be, you could be all the way from the squalor and still and then make something of yourself. And if you don't have gratitude, look what happens. You turn into a straight dick, and then it implodes on you. One thing about gratitude too, like growing up, it didn't make me, and going back to what you said earlier, it didn't make me look at people who had more than me, which most people around me did. It didn't make me feel like lesser. It didn't make me feel like, oh, why they got that and I don't. Because my own personal gratitude for what I did have prevented me from feeling jealous or having envy towards or about people who had more than I did. I didn't look at myself as lacking because I was grateful for what I had. And I've seen that not work the same way for others. Like always looking at somebody else and what they got. Like we kind of started the episode off with this, like, you know, things like pocket watching and being like, how they get that? And like if say seeing somebody with something else, like, oh, they must have, you know, like that's a poor man's mentality. That's a broke person's mentality, and it's a sad living. It's a self sealing. You know, it really is a self sealing. You can't really grow too far with that mentality past your current situation.
No.
You know, in my experience, and granted, there's always like, you know, people who exceptions to the rule and stuff, but I'm talking generally,
Yeah,
and per my experience.
in general, but I still firmly believe that everything it comes back around. So you'll have
Absolutely.
that, you'll have your success, but you know what I'm saying. You're gonna see what you need to see. So um, we got
Yes, sir.
about 17 minutes. So why don't you
Hey, one thing before you go any further,
what up?
I see, I see in the notes, Louis C.K.
Oh well, that was I didn't mention his name, but that was the comedian who said the thing about the plane. Um,
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
yeah, he was the
Because
comedian. That was his bit. I left him out just because of uh, but
say
yeah.
less.
But yeah, but that was his bit though, like about like just you know, and I it stuck in my mind forever. I was like, holy shit, like yeah, like you know, and I think about that whenever I'm in an airport now, and I try to and you know, like all right, your gate is now 10 miles away when it was 20 feet away. Okay, cool, all right, you know,
You know
so
that reminds me of just that whole topic. I saw something on line where there was a kid selling candy out in the front of a grocery store, and some old ass Karen was like, you can't do that. You can't sell your candy here. And some this Latino dude came up and he was like, man, forget all that. I'll buy all your candy, young man. How much is it? I'll buy it all. And then the white Karen lady was like trying to be like, well, they can't do this. Have you ever seen how they live? And just talking about like probably this kid probably had to be like 13, 12, got some hustle about him, but you know, got the wholesale candy and selling it in front of the joint. And it's people like that. Like you're entirely privileged, clearly, right? And you're trying to get on the helmet of this young man that's like you probably that's not doing all of the things you think that they all do. He's actually in your face doing the opposite of that, and you got a problem with that.
right,
Like those are people to me. People like that's when I looked at her. I was like, that's a person who has no gratitude and ain't looking to have none, and has grown into a person without it. And this is their contribution to society now, getting on the helmet of a young enterprising young man. And what I loved is that the dude came up and was like, "Nah, what you talking about, lady? You're shameful. I'll buy. How much is all your candy? It's $75. I got you. You know." But anyway, that just popped in my head
nah,
from what you were saying.
again, that's some of the negative shit that comes out of it. So why don't we get into, at least since we're already there, like you brought some points here, like number two here in communities and society, like you know what I mean, like that's the type of shit we're talking about, like
Perfect.
that
No, go ahead.
no, yeah, just the type of stuff that like just those types of interactions come from people not having gratitude and people like um just the most negative shit comes out of that, yo. And it's funny when you brought it up. Like I hadn't really thought about it because I'm trying to think of it. I always thought about gratitude in like a positive sense. So like until we said we are going to do this show, I've always thought of like having gratitude rather than not having gratitude. Like I mean, because I want to have it. So then that's what got me thinking all of these things that come out of not having it. You know what I'm saying? And then like here the communities and society, erosion of kindness. Um, yeah, like so you got
Yeah,
interactions like that, like this.
yeah.
Ew, like you're just gonna be nasty just because you just want to be. You just woke up like to be. That's what I mean. It's like meme police and shit like that are like the correct shit and stuff. Like people, I mean, the most fucked up behaviors come out of not being grateful. And I had never thought about that until this show.
Absolutely same, man. It lists three things here on that topic. Not having gratitude in communities and society. One, erosion of kindness.
Yeah.
Two, increased conflict. Three, entitlement culture. I'm just gonna run through these real quick.
Yeah.
Erosion of kindness. Gratitude fosters a sense of mutual care and respect. Without it, acts of kindness may diminish and social connections could weaken. Two, increased conflict. The lack of appreciation for others' contributions can lead to misunderstandings, tension, and conflict in families, workplaces, and communities. And three, entitlement culture. All three of these things we've talked about today. When people lack gratitude, they develop a sense of entitlement, expecting rather than appreciating help, resources, or privileges. This can create divisions and resentment in society. All from not exercising gratitude in your life, not being grateful for what the fuck you have.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean? It's like we we have all of these world problems, and things like this are simple fixes. Simple fixes. Be grateful, motherfucker. Be grateful. How that shit is free. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything to be thankful for what you have. It's mind-boggling to me, bro. It's I'll be flabbergasted. It's crazy. And the examples of it running rampant in our society are everywhere. All you got to do is scroll for 30
Oh,
seconds.
of course.
All you got to do is scroll for 30 seconds,
Of course.
yeah.
I mean,
You know, it's crazy.
so then we got impact on the world, environmental harm, gratitude for nature often inspires care and stewardship for their environment. Without it, many people exploit resources um, or neglect efforts to protect the planet. I never even thought about it like that, but I try to have that. I mean, I try not to fucking, like I see people littering. That shit makes me want to like my head,
Me too, bro.
like damn, like this.
Littering next to a garbage can, like 10 feet
I've
away.
seen it. I
Like
mean, I've seen it,
like
man.
those messes come from like a couple thousand people all not doing that. Now you got a mess when 1,000 people all just flick their shit on the ground right next to a garbage can. It's so crazy to me. And then they got the nerve to not like their environment because it's messy. And, and and then that whole thing about like, well, what can I do as one person? And my little trash on the ground ain't doing nothing.
Right, right.
Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway,
Yeah,
the
environmental harm. I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, like the air we breathe, man. Lack of collective progress. Gratitude promotes collaboration and unity. Without it, many people may focus on individual gain at the expense of collective well-being, slowing progress in areas like social justice, humanitarian efforts, and global peace. Yeah, it's interesting. Like because I think not having gratitude, right? Like it isolates us. It definitely creates more of a them versus us mentality in everything, or me versus them, or whatever, right? Like everything we do, it's like
they're taking our jobs.
huh?
They're taking our jobs.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that type of thing. That
continue.
yeah, the jobs that you don't want to do, but they're taking them. Um, okay, but like yeah, so it creates so you can that's one example. And then there's another. There's just so many us versus them. Men, women, everything. I mean, it's all like
It could all be fixed by with just a little bit of gratitude on the behalf of each individual. There would be a sweeping effect on society if everybody just was a little bit more. And I'm talking about everybody, the people who aren't grateful and the people who are. If everybody was a little bit more grateful every day, there would be a sweeping effect on society.
and think about within.
Sweeping.
You're perfectly right. So think about in relationships, like a lot of the issues are like even if you look at memes or whatever, is what somebody is or isn't doing, right? Because typically the relationship's like a business arrangement rather than real relationship. It's another topic for another day. But like, think about within that, like even just the classic men and women, like stay at home mom type shit, whatever, like staying at home as a mother and keeping the house together is a fucking job. Like, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, going out to work 9 to 5, busting your ass every day is a fucking chore. So I felt we had more respect for like, you know, just what people brought to a relationship, you know, what they're bringing, or more gratitude towards that. Like my wife holds down certain shit around the crib, like, and holds it down, like, and I'm super grateful because it would fall apart if I held it down, tried
Yeah.
to hold it, in spite of my best efforts. So
And,
just,
instead people be like, "Oh, you supposed to be doing that. You supposed to be doing that." Like, nah, bro. It's crazy.
I mean, and even, and maybe, yeah, there's no way, no, because you're right. Nobody's supposed to be doing shit. So I mean,
Yes, and that's where gratitude comes in. Whatever anybody is doing for you, whatever it is, be
if
grateful. Whatever it is.
you're not like,
How hard is that, man?
you know, it's pretty hard for a lot of people, I guess. But but
That's
but it's a thing. But it's a mindset though, because we said it's easy and it's free, but it's also a mindset, yo. Because you know, again, it goes back to what we always come to with certain things is like being honest with ourselves. Every show we talk about it, and so it requires a lot of introspection and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just, you know, and it does. But hopefully I mean, these life experiences will change you, man. But sometimes they don't. You know, sometimes people just see it differently, right? That bullet you dodged, you were supposed to dodge that, or whatever situation you got out of. You were like, oh, I'm entitled. That's how it's supposed to be. But you know, and so it's unfortunate, but like that's the yin and yang of, you know, like because you've said numerous times, and this makes so much sense. There's certain principles that if we just did it like 5% of, like, let's say yo, everybody in the world, all however many billion people in the world, for like just added like 10% gratitude to their shit, right? Yo, it'd be like, but we, you know, that's
yeah.
happened, but you know,
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, yeah.
global
Um,
impact. I mean, but that's and put a little love in your heart, like
it,
little
we always say like all the cliches, man. That's where all the real shit is buried, man. The real shit is hidden in the cliches, man. Just and we live in a society to where people that like cliches are corny, like just be a little like whatever.
they're
It's so
cliches
lame.
for a reason.
Exactly. But again, another thing we always touch on is the normalization of bullshit, bro. It's like that's one of the most scariest parts about society. Is like at present society is the normalization of bullshit. So cliches are corny. What, really? Like that's I I swear. Like when you live long enough, you start to look at it like that. That's just loser talk. When you're young, it takes a while to figure out that, like, okay, everybody got their opinions. At this age, I'm like, oh, that's a loser. That's a loser. That's some loser talk. Broke boy shit. Lame nigga shit. It all is like people who don't exercise no
Yeah.
gratitude, bro. And I can tell you this much again: when you live this long, you really live to see like that shit ain't really working well for you, huh? Is it? That shit is not working for you. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know. You can, you know, people are gonna be. That's part of it. People are gonna do what they're gonna do. So and so, you know, as we end this show, it's like, you know, for us, it's obvious certain some of these things, but for some people, and we have our struggles with certain things too, or whatever that might not be so might be obvious to other people, but not to us. Like I got my own challenges, so
Daily.
but it's a huge thing that will impact everyone's lives for the better if we all incorporate it a little bit, and that we can say with firm certainty, like that's from experience. I mean, and so, you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to close because I Instagram be tripping, cutting shows early for me. Um,
Yeah.
but real quick, have have we done? Because we always talk about being honest with ourselves. Have we done a full show on that? I can't remember. I'm gonna look.
I don't think we have. I think we touch on it because it's so central to this topic, but maybe that should
Yeah.
be the next one about did we do introspection?
I don't. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. This is episode 17, and I'm gonna take a look through the past ones just to make sure. I'll let
Yeah,
you.
I think that's great though. Let's do that next. Being honest
Yeah.
with oneself, or however we frame it. I think it's yeah. I'm with that, brother.
Yes. Yes, sir. So Yeah, I want to thank you, man. This has been dope. I want to make sure I get to save it. This is always dope. I appreciate you so much for doing this,
Love
and
you, my brother.
like love you too, man. This is like episode, yeah, this is episode 17. We've been doing this for a while. You were running around the world last year, so we didn't do as many, but this has been great. We thank everybody for rocking with us, and all of our prior episodes are on the Carrying the Culture YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. So all prior 16 episodes. Um, Thanks, man. We do this first, the third. I don't know. We do it one month, a little smoky. One Monday each month. I think the third Monday each month. But we do it whenever we
Yeah.
can. Sometimes we have to move it around a little bit. But thanks,
Yes.
brother.
Thank you. It's always my honor, man. I love you. Shout out to the family. Till next time. And we communicate in between this.
Yeah, yeah.
So be seeing you too, man. Continue the good work, my good man.
No, I appreciate you. Hold on, real quick, everybody. Domino. Hold on. Domino. Fucking wait. Souls and Mischief album almost done, or almost ready, or coming. Souls and Mischief album coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dale Domino coming.
Yeah.
Um,
And we are in the studio like right now doing a Hyro album. It's already sounding fire. Can't wait to drop it, good people.
yeah. So we're gonna get out of here. Thank you, brother. I'm gonna save this show. I love you. We'll talk soon. I'll confirm the next month's topic. Thank you, everybody. Episode 17, Talking Crazy. Peace.
Peace, y'all. Love.